Oh, good morning. We are here in Tokyo, about ready to fly the 777-300ER from Tokyo to Toronto CYYZ, so RJTT to CYYZ. Using real world conditions, we're leaving at hopefully 1900 UTC or 4 o'clock in the morning in Tokyo. We're going to be going through a checklist originally written by, Steve Germain. It's Boise 777, and made a few modifications to that. Great checklist, and I've just colorized it a little bit and added. He put a lot of notes in the checklist, and some of those were kind of important to bring up front. So anyways, we're going to go through a detailed checklist with the 777 for this flight today. We are also using United Airlines tracking, and we are going to be using having 205 passengers on the plane, light plane because of COVID, and our initial altitude is 330 feet, 333,000 feet, flight level 330. So we're going to start the client there and put it off to the side. We are also going to be using ATC, pilot to ATC, and we've got that all set up with the our stars and everything, and so I'll put that off to the side. We'll be working with that a little bit, and then I'll also use Avatab for our SimBrief flight plan. So that's kind of the setup here, and go ahead, since it is dark, cold and dark, turn on our aviation flashlight, go to the menu, and get all this turned on. I've had issues with custom failures with this plane, the FlightFactor 777, so we're going to turn custom failures off. And let's bring this up here, zoom it in so it's easy for you to see. Let's see. Okay, we have our 205 passengers, and let's make sure we're in kilograms here. Yeah, 90,000. Okay, yeah, with SimBrief, kind of remembers the all right, kilograms per hour. So yes, we are in kilograms. Sorry about that. Should have checked that beforehand. And go back to the first page here. So actually, go up to cargo. Cargo is 1.5 tons, metric tons. APU time, we will put 10. And I'm going to put our block fuel as our takeoff fuel. Give us a little bit of extra, so 95,000. And if we go back, that's 2,000 extra. All right. So we open the doors. And now we're loading. All right. Okay, push back. Let's see, let's Okay, there's our route 34 right. And let's take a look at our Navigraph 34 right. We have a somewhat of a long taxi there, but we can just go off into the left. So let's delete this. And
all right, Captain, got the directions. Let me know through the menu when you're ready.
all right. Okay. Can't see a whole lot with the exterior, especially with we will go up and turn the battery on. Secondary power on. And let's get some lights. Okay. Got that. Emergency equipment checklist. Circuit breakers. Alright. Alright, set cargo temperatures. Do high in the aft and low in the bulk. Alright. ADIR. Thrust. And clearance. So RJTT, I'm going to enter in for pilot to ATC off to the side. Our clearance frequency. $121.82. Okay, 121.82. And turn the radio on. There we go. Air Canada 3, ready to copy IFR clearance.
Air Canada 3 contact clearance delivery on 121.82. Have a nice day.
Contact clearance delivery on 12.
All right. Air Canada 3, ready to copy IFR clearance. Air Canada 3, ready to copy IFR clearance. 121.82, 121.
Air Canada 3 ready to copy IFR clearance.
Air Canada 3, we don't have a flight plan on file for you.
Alright, so it double checks. Let's validate, let's file our flight plan. Air Canada 3, ready to copy. No. Air Canada 3, ready to copy IFR clearance. Let's see if the first officer can get through.
Air Canada 3 ready to copy IFR clearance.
Air Canada 3 is cleared to Charlie Yankee Yankee Zulu, climb via the Rove 1C departure, with the Inyabo transition, then as filed. Expect departure runway 34 right. Climb to flight level 320 via the departure. Expect higher clearances 20 minutes after departure. Departure on 119.6 squawk 3432.
Air Canada 3 is cleared to Charlie Yankee Yankee Zulu, climb via the ROVE-1C departure, with the Inyabo transition, then as filed. Climb to flight level 320 via the departure. Expect higher clearances 20 minutes after departure. Departure on 119.6 squawk 3432.
Air Canada 3 read back correct. Altimeter 2980 contact ground on 118.22 when ready for pushback. Have a good night.
Altimeter 2980 ground on 118.22 Air Canada 3.
Alright, 3432, altimeter is 2980. Alright, so we did clearance, we got
Good evening, clearance Air Canada 595 166 Bravo with Fox PDC 381 Victor.
Air Canada 595, clearance reback correct, contact apron, have a great day.
Have a good one.
Alright, we're just going through the checklist. Left and right pump switches on. Passenger sign set. Alright. EC modes, normal. And auto start. Wing left and right engines, anti-ice on, auto. Beacon light off, nav on. Recirculation on. Flight deck and cabin temperature set. And we got right and left pack and trim air on. Bleed isolation. And engine bleed on, and APU on auto, and forward pressurization bias. And VOR ADS switch is off, and let's see, we've got 2 minutes 12 seconds for time for alignment. Alright, our plane is loaded. So we can close the doors. We'll get a little hit of the checkpoint here and take the stairs, the fuel truck, and chocks away. We'll put that away for right now. And let's see. Let's go to init ref.
Clearance Air Canada 694, PDC 381 uniform, exceed 120.
Air Canada 694, clearance reback correct, Dave Fox, contact apron, have stuff going.
Good night, thanks.
departure airport RJTT. We'll put our GPS position and to set it for the initial, and then we'll go to route. So we've got a sim brief plan, RJTT and CYYZ. This will save a few steps. There's our company route, and we're Air Canada 3. Activate and execute. Departure is .34 right, and we are going using Rover 1C. And Enubo. Execute. And CYYZ. We are coming in on ILS 23. Buxom. Alright. Buxom 5. Hotneck. And ILS 23. And execute. Take a look at our route. Looking for discontinuities or duplicates sometimes, depending on the there we go. Usually at the transition from stars and the approach, there will often be discontinuity, so you just have to get rid of those. Okay. Up here and check. We are aligned. So this in plan mode and take a look at our flight plans. Increase. Great circle route coming down, coming into CYYZ, out on the vector, and then back in. All right, so that looks perfect. So
clearance, it's Air Canada 824 Heavy with information Foxtrot. We have PDC identifier 381 Whiskey. Air Canada 824 clearance 3 back south, correct? It is
flight director on.
Have a good day. See you now.
All right. So we can actually, we are loaded, so we can do a perf init. Cruise altitude of 330 and cost index 141. Reserves 2.0. Okay. Thrust limit. We're going to go ahead and do a D rate. Flaps at 5. It's and then we can do takeoff request and fill in there. D1 V2. Now we can set our indicated airspeed 177 plus 5. Let's see. Winds from 30 at 14, 177. Oops, sorry. 7. Okay, 185 for our takeoff speed. Now go back to the legs. We've got our speeds. And then back down. Okay, so our flight plan looks good now. And let's take a look at our airport chart. We are looking at 337 for our heading. Okay. ILS, we are in heading mode, and initial heading we set, initial altitude that got from ATC, and was, altimeter, let's see, air traffic, or ATC gave us 2980. All right, 2980. All right, parking brake set is on our message board. And select weather to test. All right, log reviewed, fuel quantity 100. Crew oxygen. There is a checklist here, but I tend not to use it because it's kind of inconvenient to click on this and flip it down here. I like having it up, XChecklist, to have it up and showing there. Let's see. Should be a status. Oh, let's see. All right. I'm not certain where the
Clearance Maple is 7735, gauge 162 with CDC 381 miles.
Okay. 7735, clearance 3 back correct, base Fox, contact Abram, have a good day. Sorry, what gate are you at?
All right, fuel
We're at gate 162.
Roger, thank you.
Rest limits, indicated airspeed. Let's go with VNAV. I take that back. We want, yeah, VNAV, and we'll hold on the heading. Altimeter set and recall. Okay. We are ready. Doors are shut. Custom forms. Doors are closed. Beacon light is on. APU generator is on, and we'll go to start. APU is now running, so we can primary and secondary power off. C1 and C2 primary is on. Go up to the menu and release the GPUs. Request pushback.
Great news, Captain. Your tow's coming.
Let's see. Ground 122.07. Air traffic 3 request pushback and engine start. I don't know what's going on with my microphone here.
All right, looks like the doors and hatches are closed and we're ready to connect.
I'm looking over at the pilot to ATC and it's like we don't have the right frequency in. Two 207. 12197.
Welcome aboard, Captain. Tow's connected, bypass pins inserted. Go ahead and kill the parking brake when you're ready to go.
Okay, I guess we will, we're going to drop off of pilot to ATC. Sorry about that. I'm not certain what's going on.
Here comes the pushback. Light them up.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Clearance, good evening, it's Georgia 7409.
Up
We have
here.
information, Foxtrot, identifier 382 Delta.
Got our logo on, and pushback has started.
Have a great day.
Have a great day, Georgia 7409.
Right engine demand pump to auto. Fault goes out, and then we turn the rest of these on. And turn the fuel pumps on. Go to recall. Left engine switch to start. I don't know, I've had good luck with pilot to ATC, so I don't know what's, maybe it's too early in the morning. Okay. Cut off on. Go up here and go back to engine. We've got positive oil pressure. Right engine on. Give it fuel.
Just about done here. Go ahead and set your parking brake. And we're disconnecting the tow. Give me just a moment.
Wait for the engine to spool up. This insufficient fuel often comes out when we have step climbs. We save a lot of fuel by going up, and if we look at our sim brief, we're looking at a few step climbs as we go through. Alright, we are stable. We can go ahead and turn the APU off. Go
And we're disconnected. Signal and pin on the left. Take it easy and have a safe flight.
Check out our flight control. And then I'm going to put it back over on gear so we can check our brake temperature. And all right. Let our stabilizer trim is 6.0. Oops. Sorry. Now double check, make sure our flaps are still at 5.
Clearance
Okay.
Rouge 1678, identifier 382 Golf. Information.
Unable to find view ID 4. Unable to find view ID 4.
Okay. Do a recall.
Unable to find view ID 4. Unable to find view ID 4.
Sorry about that. X camera seems to have gotten confused here. All right. We're going to skip the ATC, but at least it's there for future reference. All right. Check right, check left. I don't know why. Taxi lights are on, turn off lights are on, and brakes are off. So we can check our brakes. Alright, so we will come along over here and go down E all the way down to E2. Alright. Well, I reloaded the FlightFactor.
Good evening. This is ICAR 38 Charlie at gate Charlie 29 Alpha. With information from Trot, we are 0.763 and request ATC clearance to Keflavik.
ICAR 38 Charlie clearance, good day. You're clear to Keflavik. Sea Dog.
Alright, we'll turn off the ATC chatter and pilot to ATC. And pilot to ATC is a fun plug-in that you can use if FATSIM doesn't have the coverage for the area that you're going to be flying in, which is often the case, especially long international flights. I didn't even bother to check this morning, so I thought we'd do pilot to AC. Some mornings everything, or some days not everything works right. Tried doing this flight yesterday and getting a lot of issues, so I reloaded the 777, and I think things are looking much better. Let's see, while we are going down this long, we'll go ahead and arm the auto throttle. Verify flaps are for takeoff. Right. Flight controls, free and clear. This is kind of a duplicate. I think I might delete that. Stabilizer trim and auto brakes RTO.
Unable to find view ID 4.
Alright. Yeah, somehow X camera. I guess I could. So, one of the plugins that I have is X camera. Which should be 4. Pilot view 4 is 4. It's not going there. Alright. It's a little tutorial. Somehow I must have messed up the pressing the numeric key for view 4. So and let's see, we are looking at E3. I don't see any. Let's see. Runway signs here. This is default explain scenery. Okay, we would contact the ATC here. And let's turn the lights down. Landing lights on, runway turn off, taxi off, strobe on, logo off, wing off. And we'll go ahead and transponder, take off. Alright, continue. The main purpose of this video is to go through the takeoff checkoff, which is very helpful for new people. I like doing a checklist. Just once you get to this point where you're ready to take off, you've already invested a half an hour or so. So it's nice to, if you just don't want to mess up and have to start all over again. So I just wanted to share the checklist that I've got here, and for others. Okay. Start the timer. All right. All right. We are 55% or greater. Start the roll a little bit and press our takeoff go around button. This is a long plane, so you have to be very aware of doing a tail strike. Make sure that you don't take off too abruptly. Feet, autopilot on. LNAV.
Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink.
Come on. It's an issue that I've seen people have with this plane about it not rising. All right. So we switched to the vertical speed. All throttle is on. Got 1,100 feet. Speed is coming up. So VNAV is arming, which I didn't have yesterday before reloading the plane, but it's not taking effect. We should be on our way at 250 at 7,200 feet. Got 250. Our speed is dropping. At flaps 1. I'm not certain. Only at 91%. So let's turn auto throttle off. full forward. And then turn auto throttle back on. Oh, it's strobe off. Okay. Increase our rate of climb. Throttles up. Now we're with auto throttles in, we're try VNAV now. So I have read on the forums that sometimes you have to put the throttle full forward before taking off, or before engaging the takeoff going around. Otherwise, it goes back to where the throttle position is. But all right, we are above 10,000 feet now, and we've got our speed increased to 318, so that looks like auto throttle is working now. We are heading around. So we increase our speed to match our flight plan speed, and then we should start climbing again. And if we bring up our flight plan, we are looking at 330. Which we'll go ahead and set now. Okay, so we've reached our target speed, and we're starting to climb again. I do have a fix for I don't particularly like the glare on the windshield, on the windows and the instruments, and I've got a replacement for those, but since I was having issues yesterday with some of the performance on the takeoff, different issues, I did a reinstall and did not replace those textures. Reflection of the instruments and stuff. All right, let's turn the landing lights off. Set the passenger seats to auto. All right, so what we'll do, since we're mainly focusing on the checklist, and I don't think you want to watch a nighttime flight, or at least starting a nighttime flight for 11 hours, I'll pause the video portion of this now. I'll come back and I'll go ahead and we're close enough to transition that we'll go ahead and set standard. So for the step climbs, I will go ahead and show you those, and then we'll be in for the descent. So I'll go ahead and pause the video now as we fly on. Hope you've enjoyed it so far, and sorry for the issues that we've had with pilot to ATC. All right, we are almost to Basro, which between here and Powell, we need to do a flight change to 350. Our fuel on board at Paso should be 71.9, and we are at 76.4. So we're looking good for our fuel consumption. And I know this is our speed is looking good. So we're ready, I think, for we'll go ahead and do our flight change a little bit early. So the process there is to go into init ref and index performance and go to 350. All right. And then if we were in ATC, we would request altitude change to 350. All right, and then do flight change. We do the step climbs to improve our fuel efficiency. And our fuel consumption so far is looking good. Let's go ahead and take a look at the big picture while that's... We are just entering in the Anchorage Oceanic Air Traffic Control area. Heading to our destination in Toronto. Alright, put that off to the side. Go to progress. We've got top of descent is, looks like there's kind of steps over, 4,369 nautical miles for our top of descent. We are now at 35,000. We can, DNAV won't make a whole lot of difference here. So I think that's it until we have our next step climb. It's at ORT at 370. So see you there. All right, our next step climb is at ORT, and then we will be leaving the Alaska airspace and in Canadian airspace. 18 nautical miles to go. According to SimBrief, let's check it here. At ORT, we should have 41.7 tons, and we have 48.7 tons on board. So fuel is looking excellent at this point. And so we'll go ahead and go through the same process that we did last time. We are going from 350 to 370. So we'll go down here. Init ref and index performance 370, and I don't believe this here. Clear that, and then we go on up here. 60. 370 and initiate flight change. We are now daytime. Feet. Got a plane going by there. Pretty close. All right, 37,000 feet. Our next step climb is fairly quickly at Otnik, and that'll be to 390. So we'll see you then. All right, we are moving right along here. We're actually about 302 nautical miles to Otnik. That's our target to be at 390. I'm going to go ahead and you can see in green that we've got our top of descent up here. We're coming in top of descent at 431. I think we're at a point that we can go ahead and go up to 390 and take advantage of the thinner air for a little bit there, and then we'll start our descent. So let's go through the same process that we've gone through before. Unit ref index and performance. And we're going to move up to 390 if we had ATC. So unable cruise altitude. Well, let's go ahead and try it. We may be too heavy. Alright, so change our target altitude to 390, hit flight change, and let's see if we can get up there. We are down to 28.7 for fuel. Our target at Otnik was 15.1. And we still got just under 300 nautical miles to go there. So that's where we were. Our target was to be at 390 at that weight level. Let's go ahead and give it a shot. And see how we go. And what we would see is if it's not possible, we'll start dropping the speed, and our ascent rate is going to drop down, which it is dropping down now. So looks like which is a good test for our FMC. There we go. We hit 390 and leveled off. So what I'll do, I'll see you guys at see everyone at just prior to the top of the descent. We'll get prepared for the descent and make our way down to Toronto. See you then. All right, we are about 94 nautical miles to the top of descent. So what we'll do is kind of check out a few things and get prepared. Let's see. Let's go to an ITREF, and let's go ahead. Got 205 passengers or thereabouts, plus the cargo. So let's go ahead and do it. Flaps 30, 139. And let's go to legs. We are going to, let's see, I'm missing it. All right, we are past Otnik, and GoPack, we have no restrictions there, it looks like. Tudan, set go. Coming in Boxum, and then we got a 1300 restriction at Duvos, and then come right in Setter, Urbus, and then we're off to Davik, Levik, Emped, Satter, and then here we are on our vector, which we will take out and then come back around and come into Calvi. Okay, so we got a good understanding about our restrictions here. Coming in at 3,000 feet. Go back. Let's see. Vector's Calvi at 3,000 feet, and then come on down on the ILS approach. So our flight, our FMC matches the charts that we can see. And so we can go ahead and come over and bring our altitude down. Since we were programmed all the way in, we can, and then vectors is at 3,400 feet basically. We can just go ahead and put 3,000 feet for our target altitude. Let's see, we are 66 nautical miles away. So we kind of messed up here because we wanted to check out our checklist. So in range for descents, where we left off. So we are in range, means that we are on the star, which we are. Typically we show up. I'm not certain why we don't, but anyway, who knows? FMC navigation page. Check that out. We don't need to worry about VOR, ADF, barometric minimums. We should 200 feet. So bring this down so we can see. Okay, 200 feet. Marker beacon on the radio panel. Oh, shoot, I know I saw it. Not used to. Let's turn up the lights a little bit. Wake everybody up. Marker, there it is. All right. Okay, left, center, right marker. Well, I guess we want a center marker. Okay. Set auto brakes. Let's do a 3. Right. Double check that straight on sometimes. Okay, we're looking good there. Do a recall. Bring our down to 100 nautical miles, it looks like. Okay. Okay, so we've checked out our descent checklist. We've got the FMC programmed. One thing I don't have on the list is what I typically do is do a ring, set of rings. That helps me gauge when to put the flaps on, and just as a double check. And I do typically around 15 for flaps 1 or 5. Oops. And then around 10, start increasing it. And I'm cautious, so I usually go around 5 to where I'll have around 10, I'll have most things, and then 5, I'll have pretty much full flaps. All right, so we are at 37 nautical miles. So again, that was VNAV, and then next page, on the third page of VNAV is the descend now. Usually I wait till about 10 nautical miles before the top of descent to kind of start the descent a little bit easier. What it does is you have a shallower descent to start off with, however far you bring it. Then that way when you get into a full descent rate, it is not so abrupt for your passengers. So 31 nautical miles, let's go ahead and try it. Make sure that everything is working. All right, descend now. And there we go, we're dropping down. So where are we? Sometimes you have to do a flight change on some of the airplanes for it to actually keep on hovering the items which are under the FMC. You know, next. Alright, well, different planes, it behaves differently. So we will do a flight. Oh, our VNav is off. There we go. And our speed's dropped down, so we're going to give it some flaps to speed. We took off in the dark and we are landing in the dark. Go back to legs. When we were doing the flight changes, I hadn't put it back on VNav, so with VNav on, setting the altitude down and hitting descend now should have taken care of that. What we did now is kind of did the abrupt. Yes. Alright, so we are at our target speed, or close enough, so the computer is telling us to turn off our speed brakes, which we did. We hit it one more time and we armed the speed brake. So we just monitor our overcast up in the Toronto area in Canada. So it looks like I'm not seeing stars. Even at our altitude, I'm not seeing any stars up there. All right. So we've got our descent, and we can go ahead and turn off the passenger signs and turn them on permanently there. We've got our seat belts and harnesses done. So next we will continue our descent down, and our next action item is around 10,000 feet, where we start flipping lights on and paying closer attention to what is going on. So I will go ahead and pause the video here, continue on the descent, and when we get into the 10,000 foot range, we'll be busy for the actual approach process. So see you then.